welcome to another tech display of Let's Fly. This is the second part of a two-part video on how I create my own instrument, and it is a seatbelt sign and no smoking sign instrument. If you haven't watched my first video, please go to it and have a look on it. I refer sometimes to it. So what we're doing in this video is we will draw the drawing and we will finalize it, and then we'll do the cutting. Okay, let's jump into the Inkscape. Here is our drawing from the last time. It is the seatbelts and no smoking sign. So now imagine that this is the top layer, but you need probably a second layer because you want to backlight it. So the second layer will be smaller because here there will be a rail system where you mount this. So what we do first is we add a new layer. A layer you can add by clicking on layer and then layers. Then there is a window here with all the layers. Let's click on create new layer and say bottom layer. I have renamed the top layer to top layer. Say below current and add. Now we have a new layer here. We can display and hide it and switch it on and off. So I lock it so we can't change anything on the top layer, and the bottom layer is selected. So now let's draw another rectangle, and this rectangle has to be changed. Oh, it is black. So click on the cross here and it is black now. So what we want to do is we position it on X0 and Y0. And now normally it would be 100 by 50. So it would be definitely the same size like the top layer. But this is useless because we want to mount this on a railing. So we, for example, say -20 on the width. That means it is only 80 millimeters in the width. That means we must put it 10 millimeters to the right, so that it is centered. And now you see there is the rail and there is the mounting. So what we also need is mounting holes, and we do it the same way like we did the mounting holes on the top layer. So we take the mounting holes and draw them here. Why do we need mounting holes? Well, you must connect the first and the second layer. So click on the select tool, say 4 by 4 millimeters, and now do the same thing. We click on the rectangle and then align and distribute, and then we're aligning it. Okay, now deselect the rectangle and click plus 2.5 and plus 2.5. Now copy this circle, paste it here, and now what we do is again we will arrange it to be on the bottom. So now let's select it. It is -2.5 in the Y, and it should be selected and aligned to the top circle. So select the top circle and then center those together. So it's 12.5. Now copy both, paste both, set the Y to 2.5 like we did it in the first video. Hold the left shift key and select the rectangle. Put it to the right edge of the rectangle, deselect the rectangle and click to the X and enter -2.5. Now those 4 holes are really good, but what we now have to do is we have to select all of them and click Ctrl G, which is for group. Now we click Ctrl C and we remember X 12.5 and Y 2.5, because we now need to go to the top layer, deselect the bottom layer, select the top layer and switch it on, and copy those here as well. So we paste them here, 12.5 and 2.5, and this is because we need to connect the 2 layers together. So now the top layer is definitely finished. There will be 4 screws which will connect the top and the bottom layer together, and then there will be those 4 screws which connect the whole panel to the railing system. Now switch on the bottom layer again and turn off the top layer. What we now need is the cutouts here for the body of the switches. You know, the switches have a body, I said 13.2 by 7 millimeters. So to be on the safe side, I would say we draw a rectangle and now say it is 8 by 14. So 8 by 14 means it is definitely bigger than the body of the switch. Now we need to switch on the top layer's functionality because now we want to arrange them together. So hold the left shift click key and click on the circle. Go to Align and Distribute and center this cutout to this circle. Now, let's go back to the layers. Make sure you're on the bottom layer. Click on to select the cutout. Click Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V. And now the second cutout is pasted. Now again, select the circle here. Click on Align and Distribute. And now we're done. It seems as if we're done, but there's one clever thing we will add. We go back to the layers, make sure that the top layer isn't switched on again, and draw a last circle. This circle will be the circle, also again 4x4 millimeters, for the cables. It doesn't matter where you put the circle, but it should be on the bottom layer. So you have got the cables of the lights that you will put through it. I would suggest you put it on 12.5 millimeters from the left. That means they're definitely on the same alignment like those. So now your drawing is finished, and when you click Ctrl-S, it is saved. What we now will do is we prepare it for the laser engraving. Now, first of all, we want to engrave the top layer. So switch off the bottom layer, you don't see it anymore, and click anywhere that nothing is selected. Hit Shift Ctrl D. A document properties window will appear, and then you can say resize page to content, and then resize page to drawing or selection. If you do this, it reduces the width and height to this size of the document. Yeah, it's 19.99, but that's 100 by 50. That's okay. And this is our document we will then import into our K40. So click on Ctrl-S, save it, and now let's go to the K40. Here's our K40, and what we always do is initialize laser cutter. So you click on initialize laser cutter, and when you've done this, you click on open design file, and then you load the design file. Now the file has been loaded. So this is the top layer, and it has been put on the top left corner of the laser cutter. If you want to place it anywhere else, you can move it with these arrows, and you can also move it with your mouse, but I will put it onto home again. What will be next is we will do the engraving. The engraving is black, raster engrave. From my opinion, I normally use 80 millimeters and about 5 to 10%, but I have an K40 where you have a percentage. Every K40 is different, you have to figure out this. But if you have done this, you just click then on raster engrave, and then it's engraving. Okay, after it has done the engraving, the next thing is we will do the cutting. And in my case, this is a 4mm acrylic. So I click on settings and advanced settings, and click here on vector cut passes and enter 3, because in my case, like I have set up my laser cutter, when I use 60% of power and 10 millimeters per second, I can do the vector cutting for acrylic in 3 passes. So that's the reason I do 3 passes. And I'll click vector cut. Okay, cutting has finished. Now we will change the material to the 4mm plywood and go back to Inkscape. Here in Inkscape, we will switch on the bottom layer and switch off the top layer. So we need only this information. Now you can either resize it back again, because it's only 80 millimeters width, or leave it like I do it. I click on Ctrl-S for save and go back to the K40 Whisperer. Here in the K40 Whisperer, there is a really great functionality. You can click Reload Design File, and then in the meantime, it reloads the design file, but it lets everything, the position, be the same. Now here is my design file, and you see there is this 10 millimeters on the left and on the right. Now we click on Vector Cut and cut it again. Okay, that's all from the cutting. I've put it together. Here you see the seatbelt and no smoking sign, and it's working. You can backlight it with some LED stripes. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you've got any questions, comments, please post them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and tell everybody about this. Thank you for watching this video. Wish you a nice day and happy landings.